Hi everybody, welcome to the Cloud in a Bottle demo. This is a fun demo because, well, for starters, you can do it at home. You just need some help from mom, dad, or an adult because you will need the ingredient of smoke. So whether it's like matches or maybe a punk stick that you've got at home, you'll need their supervision in order to do this at home. Along with that, you're going to need some hot water. As you can see, there's like some steam. Some condensate up there on the top of that bottle, and a bottle with a top that you can screw on relatively tight, because you're going to squeeze this thing, and if it's no good, then you won't be able to make the cloud in the bottle. So here's what you're going to do. As I do this, I want you to just make some observations about what's happening in order for that cloud to show up, and then kind of try to make connections to the linking literacy, the labs that we've talked about, maybe the gizmo that we've done, about what this has to do with phase change. Okay, so I've got it open. I'm going to light the matches. I'm going to let these things get going a little bit, and then all I'm going to do is blow it out, drop it in, try and catch some of that smoke in the jar. You can kind of see it filling up in that jar in there. And then the best thing to do with the matches is you can just drop them right into the water. You can even use like a small water bottle. Those work too. Just make sure that top's on. Okay, so now what I have is hot water. I've got some smoke, and I'm just gonna give it a shake to kind of mix everything up. And then what I want you to observe is what happens when I squeeze and unsqueeze this bottle. Okay, so there's squeeze, and there's unsqueeze. Squeeze, unsqueeze. And then if the water is really hot, you're going to have condensate in that bottle. So if we were to do this in class, I'd call it a reset. You just give it like a little shake like that, and now all of a sudden the bottle's nice and clean of that moisture on the sides. Squeeze, unsqueeze. So you can kind of see it. And again, you should be focusing in here. I'm seeing a really good shot of the clarity down there. Reset. So I know it kind of looks like it's a shadow kind of coming and going, but I promise you that's an actual little cloud in there. So go back and rewatch this if you want to. But ultimately, what I want you to think about is what's happening in that bottle for phase change to be taking place like that, right? We talked about adding and taking away energy from water. And when you do that, it can go from a liquid to a gas. It can go from a solid to a liquid. It can go from a gas to a liquid, and a liquid to a solid. So what am I adding when I squeeze this bottle to the moisture here, and I suppose the moisture down here? What am I adding? What am I taking away? I know that we've been talking about energy in the form of heat from the sun, and we've also talked about internal heat. But for the sake of this lab, what am I adding to this that is influencing the phases of the water inside this jar?